for watching, subscribing, liking, and if you haven't done that, please do that with this latest video. I'm I think about 670 subscribers, so I'm like 30 away from 700, which for a channel that has been here and there every so often, it's one that I'm really happy. And there's still so many people subscribed. If I get the views up, that'll be even better. So make sure to share on your social media channels if you enjoy this video, and let me know your favourite autograph from what I'm about to show you. So today was meant to be the wrestling one, but I've decided to do the wrestling one at a later stage because I didn't put on a wrestling t-shirt today and put on one for Star Wars Celebration 2016. Wasn't it 2016? Yeah, it was. So it still fits and everything, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, instead we're going to do the 8x10s and then show you a couple of ones that are obviously really sentimental and means a lot to me, so we'll get on to them because they're decorated around the place. There's one behind me which I'm trying to put my head in front of so you don't see. So we will crack on. Some of these I've obtained in person, some of these I've maybe won, and some of these somebody else has got for me. Like the first one, which is Veronica Taylor, who did the voice for Ash Ketchum in Pokemon. So it just says, Chris, follow your dreams, Veronica Ash Taylor. Like Robbie got that for me. This one here is Jason David Frank, who was Tommy Oliver in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Really happy with that one. Managed to meet him. He was very nice. Did a video for Robbie for his YouTube channel, and Robbie never used it. So thanks for that, Robbie. Really appreciate that. Next ones are, I think Dave got me these. Which are, this is Shane Rimmer, who voiced Scott Tracy in Thunderbirds. I really like the FAB, and then Shane goes whoop, and then just wrote Scott, and then Matt Zimmerman, who voiced Alan Tracy. I just like the fact that Alan Tracy has a photo of what Matt Zimmerman looks like. So that was pretty cool. We have one, this was one that I obtained in Star Wars Celebration, which is Matt Wood. He does like a lot of audio stuff with the Star Wars franchise, and obviously did the voice for General Grievous, so it says Chris crush them, and they just signed it, and then he said voice of General Grievous, and then he put down here Celebration 3 2016. One of the first people I met Star Wars related was Paul Blake, who was Greedo in the original Star Wars. If you're a Star Wars fan, there's a really good documentary called Elstree in 1976, and it tells you about like bit part characters like him, a couple of the X-Wing pilots and all, and going to conventions and that kind of thing. So I met him in Belfast, and they said Chris shot first, okay, and then just Greedo and then Paul Blake there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but this is Darth Maul, which is Sam Witwer. This is from, was this from, I can't remember if this was from Clone Wars or from Rebels. I'm going to say Clone Wars instead of Rebels, yeah, because he was in Clone Wars before Rebels, yeah. So I think he did the voice for both of them anyway. So he was a pure joy to meet. I know Sam was uber happy to meet him, as was I. He was also in Smallville, the later series of them. Steve Sansweet, who owns Rancho Obi-Wan, which is basically like a huge museum to do with Star Wars stuff. And it's, again, if you type his name into YouTube, you'll see what I mean, or if you listen to Rebel Force Radio. This is Garrick Hagen, which is one that Dave got me, and it says to Chris Red 5 standing by. He played oh god, I got his name right, but I haven't got that right. Biggs, Blasted Biggs, where are you? And he's actually wrote Biggs there, so to because Dave got his autograph once, and I said he's such a nice autograph. One of the people that I really enjoyed meeting in Star Wars Celebration was Daniel Logan, who was young Boba Fett in episode 2, and I think he did the voice for Boba Fett in Clone Wars as well. And it says, Chris, don't lose your head. But he was a pure joy to meet the guys, and I really enjoyed meeting him. Now, this autograph was one that I really wish that I obtained in person, because I'm a huge fan of this person, and really hope that at some stage he comes back across the pond whenever everything goes down, which is James Arnold Taylor, who does the voice for Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Clone Wars. So it says, Chris, may the force be with you always. But I'm a huge fan of his, and that was at the stage whenever we were doing Heroes and Villains, and there was no way that I could have moved all my photos from the Saturday over to the Sunday, so I had to just go on the Saturday, which was fine, but he was there, and the guy who does the voice for Winnie the Pooh, Jim Cummings, he was there as well. So I love meeting the voice actors. One of the ones that I met, which was DC Douglas, who did the voice for Legion in Mass Effect 2, and he also did the voice for Wesker in Resident Evil 5. One of the ones that the guys I was saying in my last one that they got me was this Dean Cain one, says Chris, keep everything super Dean Cain, so they got me that whenever he was at the Birmingham Con. So that was good. This one here was one that I have a funny feeling Dave also got me. Why are you making so much noise at 9:30 in the bloody morning? Which is Emily Beth Rickards, who obviously is Felicity in Arrow. You can tell it's early in the morning with me fluffing these names. And then I obviously got a photo with her, but there was no point in me getting an autograph because all I own one. I met Joe Dinigal, who was Ragman in Arrow as well. He was nice to meet, and Dave and I obviously got a photo with him. One that I won in a raffle was this Stephen Amell one. Obviously I've got it personalised from him, and pretty much the same cover as well. Willa Holland, who was Thea in Arrow. I think it was Robbie who got me this. Kelly who was in Warehouse 13. She was also Lady Deathstrike in X-Men 2, I believe. So it says Bag It and Tag It. Warehouse 13 is just an underrated TV show for me. We have a couple here from Hilly Atwell. That's all I'm going to say on that, because first time I met her was a horrible experience, so I thought I'd try and meet her the next day. I think it was with Simon, and it didn't improve one iota. Just somebody I wouldn't want to meet again. Somebody, I was so lucky to get this 8x10, because unfortunately she had no Game of Thrones ones left, and this was her last one, which is Natalie Dormer, who was in Captain America, the first Avenger, and also was Marjorie in Game of Thrones, one of my favourite characters, and it was just lovely meeting her, and I love my photo with her. Another person that's great to meet was Katie Manning, who is Jo Grant in Doctor Who, with my favourite Doctor, the Third Doctor. And it says, to Chris, much love, Katie Manning. I just love that photo with him. And then I got one from Sophie Aldred, who is Ace, with the 7th Doctor, Sylvester McCoy's Doctor. One that I was really fortunate to get, and really surprised that I was managed to just walk up and get, was Catherine Tate. I did have something for her to sign, and then whenever I saw this one, I was like, oh, that'll be perfect. My original plan was then to get David Tennant to sign this, but you will see what he signed later on. So I got that one week. One that I showed you on the last video from from Pearl Mackie, and explained the story to do with that. This was the one that my friend Millie got me. You can see there, it says, my condolences, keep your chin up, much love, Pearl Mackie, which is a really good 8x10. This one here was just like, whenever Simon went up to meet him, I was standing beside him, and your woman said, would you like an autograph? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I got David Bradley, who obviously played William Hartnell's Doctor. He was really nice to meet. I said, I'm sure you can believe that Doctor Who, Game of Thrones, and Harry Potter, you know, you'd be in all 3 big franchises, and he just looked at me, oh, it's changed my life, you know. So I also met Sokal Val, who was a ring announcer, valet for in TNA. These are kind of all wrestling ones now, so if you're not a wrestling fan and you want to go, fine, bye, or if you want to stay, that's fine. I got this one here signed by Mickie James, who was also in TNA and WWE. Caitlin Celeste Bonin, I want to say her real name is. She's fairly changed since this picture now, so she has. She was nice to meet. Edge's wife, Beth Phoenix, she was lovely. Spent a good bit of time with us all whenever we were meeting her. I did meet Maurice, who was a lot better the second time to meet, rather than the first time, where she didn't really say much. And I think she was engaged to him at the time. At this stage, she was married. So really happy with that one. I met Maria, who was really, really nice. I met her the first time, and then I met her this time here because I didn't have it personalised the first time, so I thought to get that signed. The $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, which you can see here, he actually puts a Bible verse on the dollar sign, which is really cool. This was one I got from Retro Wrestling, which is from Eve, and it says, "To Chris, I look so good to you," as in her theme tune, and it just says hugs and kisses, so I got that signed. Miss Tessmacher Brooke Adams, who's in TNA, I got that signed. One of my favourite people to meet was Velvet Sky. It says, "To Chris, you rock, thanks for the R2D2 case. I was getting my photo and she loved the case that my phone was in, so I gave that to her and got a hug from it, so I was really happy that she wrote that on this." And then beside her was Angelina Love, again from TNA, so met her. One of the guys that was just a pure joy to meet, and anytime you get the opportunity to meet this man, please do, which was William Regal. Just a pure gent. He even apologised whenever he went away to talk to the Blue Meanie of all people, and came back and went, "I'm terribly sorry about that." And I thought, "That's fine, don't be worrying about it." So he was really nice to meet, as was Tara/Victoria. Tara in Impact Wrestling TNA and Victoria in WWE. She was really, really nice to meet as well. One that I had met and he got an 8x10 but it wasn't personalised was John Cena. Yeah, he was, yeah, I would think I was the most nervous meeting him of all people, even though at that stage I wasn't really a huge fan. I'm not really a huge fan of Cena, but I respect what he does for the industry and for the Make-A-Wish Foundation especially, and that's what I said to him whenever I met him, was like, you know, people may not like your wrestling, but they have to respect the fact that, you know, you have so many kids that are, you know, wanting to meet you and everything like that, and he said he respected that. So I met Devon Dudley, or Devon. I did ask these guys to personalise it, and only Billy Ray did. These guys were just so intimidating to meet, it wasn't even funny. Like the photo of me is like, and they like whacked you on the back as you left. And before this, there was a guy who only wanted to meet Billy Ray, and while I was getting a photo, Devon put his hand in front of his face and went, "What's the matter with you, man? You racist or something?" And I was like, and I was next, and I had originally only planned to meet Billy Ray, but I thought, no, I'll meet the pair of them, so I met Frankie Kazarian, who, if you watch AEW, you will know as the so-called uncensored SCU. He was really nice to meet. I did meet Christopher Daniels, and I thought I had an 8x10 from him, but I don't. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who I got this as part of a GoFundMe. I think he needed shoulder surgery or something like that. Met Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes, which were two just lovely people to meet. Unfortunately, Cody was unable to wrestle because he had a knee injury, and Brandy signed that one there for me. I also got Flip Gordon, who was really, really cool to meet as well, and that was one from Kelly way back in the day. And then my good buddy Simon, for no good reason other than being a terrific human being, and just decided to treat me one day and send it to me, was an 8x10 of Adam Page signed. He's just a really good wrestler, and I really do like him, even though I haven't really watched that much wrestling lately. Just the whole empty arena thing, it just is weird for me, so apologies if I'm a bit croaky in this, but the hay fever is playing up. I have taken a tablet for it, but it hasn't kicked in yet. But I wanted to get this video done and dusted and set up. Now, next one will be the wrestling one, but before we go, I have to show you a couple other things, and then we will end, so bear with me. Okay, so first of all is this signed print from Kevin Eastman, who was the co-creator of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and as you can see, they're crossing Abbey Road. This was limited edition of 250, so I was extremely, extremely happy to get that. If we come down here, we have the Cam Clark He-Man signed one, and if we come around here, I should have really done this. So we have Matt Smith, grade 8.0, and we have a Benedict Cumberbatch signed 9.01, and if we come over here, we have this Stan Lee signed one. Now, It's not a great grade, but if you could see up here, it says it was from 1973, and I wanted to get this because it had Spider-Man and Hulk on the cover of it. We then have one of my prized possessions, which is this David Tennant signed A3 print. You would have probably heard my story about whenever I met the guy. If not, if you go to my London Film Comic Con one, but basically it was announced on the Saturday for the Sunday, and then I had to try and find something to get him to sign, so I managed to get this, Pure Joy to Meet. And then my last thing, if we spin around here, is this, which is a Return of the Jedi vinyl signed by, now hold on, so we have here Carrie Fisher, who wrote Mrs. Han Solo. She just basically signed, I went, there you go. Anthony Daniels, C-3PO, who was really, really nice to meet. Really love the writing of the pen as well. Peter Mayhew, who was Chewbacca, who Simon and I had met together, and the guy in front of us just really annoyed him, and we didn't get a good experience with him. Mark Hamill, we were so close, like about that close to meeting, and then they said that he wasn't well, so then we had to come back the next day. So he was the only one I wanted to personalise on this, because the other three at that stage, you know, Anthony Daniels had done a couple of conventions, Carrie Fisher had, and she was one that I just wanted to get on it, and Peter Mayhew was doing near enough every LFCC, but Mark Hamill has hardly done any conventions over here. So I was just saying to him about whenever my dad and I went to see The Force Awakens, my dad asked, when do you think we're going to see Luke? And I said, he'll be at the end. And he was like, how did you know? But he was a pure joy to meet, so that's why this. If you have like any vinyls that you want framed, HMV are the ones that sell these here. So yeah, that is one that I was tempted to get Ian McDiarmid on this, but I didn't, because I didn't want to take it out and risk it getting damaged. So he's on the separate thing, which I'll probably, I forgot to add on to this one, which I'll just add on to the start of the wrestling one next time. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.